Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking with Bae. I'm your host, Lindsay, also known as Animal Based Bae, and today I will be making energy date balls. These are so quick to make. They could virtually be no bake. However, I do like making it from fresh plantains, but you can also get those plantain chips, which we'll go into in just a second, but I made these off the cuff, off of an idea. I was recently hunting in Canada and thought of just quick, snacks to take on the trail or hiking, or if you're gone all day and whatnot, and just toss these together. And you could just say that I made them again the next day because everybody absolutely loved them. So of course I had to turn it into a recipe. So here we go. So today I'm substituting, so it won't be exactly like I made it on the trail. However, this is what I also love about this recipe is it's super versatile. I give you a good base, and then you could sort of pick different dried fruits that you want, from like cranberries or dried blueberries or dried mangoes, kind of things in season, maybe dried cranberries. And you can also pick the fat that you want. Coconut oil gives that really nice, obviously, coconut flavor. And if you're not a fan, ghee is a really great option. And I'm gonna sprinkle that with a little bit of Ceylon cinnamon because 'tis the season for all things a little bit of cinnamon and spice. Okay, so here's what you will need to make these delicious energy date balls. You'll need 2 cups of dates. Obviously, I get the medjool dates, I get them organic. Just be careful because you just wanna make sure that they are pesticide residue free, and that's what these ones are by Natural Delights, which is awesome. Then I have dried unsweetened cranberries, and that's what I found in the store today. But when I was in Canada, we found these golden berries, which were so yummy. So it gave you that kind of like sweet and sour, sweet from the dates and a little bit of sour taste. Mulberries would be a great idea. Other, sort of pieces of dry fruit. Raisins, we also did one with raisins too. So those were super yum. Anyway, so those are kind of your 2 dried fruits that you'll be doing, and the dried raisins, craisins, blueberries, what have you, that will be about ½ a cup. Then also salt. Now I did use fine salt from when I originally made these, but I really wanted to actually get these salt. These ones are a little bit coarser, which might give you that a little bit of crunch too in these, so I'll try that today. But you can also use just fine salt, about ½ a teaspoon there. Then plantains. So as mentioned, you can get a chip bag of plantains so that you don't have to cook these at all. So to expedite the process, you sure can use just a full bag of those banana chips. I can put some links down below, and they're also fried in coconut oil, so that would be cool to just use coconut oil for this recipe if you use those chips. However, you can also just make it fresh with a fried green plantain, and I've showed you these before. They're called tostones, so you know how to make them, and I'll guide you through a quick zip of a tutorial here today. But this is a big plantain, so when I was in Canada, we used 2 plantains that were just a bit smaller than this. So again, what I love about this recipe is you can't really mess it up, and you can try it, and then if you want a different texture ratio or a different flavor ratio, you can always sort of tweak it a little bit. So this is what I will be using today. And then you will need ghee to coat the pan to fry your tostones in, so you'll need a lot of whatever fat you're using to cook the plantains in. And then also extra, probably about maybe a little less than ½ a cup, maybe ½ a cup of the extra fat so that it can blend easier in the food processor. And then I will be using some Ceylon cinnamon today. These kind of are optional, so you can either just do coconut oil or these 2 things. So also, I want to mention, you'll probably want to definitely get a food processor unless you can really chop it up nicely in your blender. But even in the Vitamix, it was a little bit difficult. I found it got stuck a little bit, so just heads up there. Let's go ahead and get cooking. So let's go ahead and get to prepping it. So first thing I will do is my plantains, of course, because those will take the longest time. So if you are cooking and prepping, we're gonna go ahead and take those ends off the plantains and then cut down the seams. Again, I'm doing a super fast tutorial on how to peel, cut, and fry a plantain today because that's not the focus of the show. You can see other YouTube tutorials in my videos of how to cook tostones and plantains. So we just peel it off super easy, like so. Then we cut it in about 1.5 inches here. And it's nothing too strict just because you'll be double frying them and then mashing them up, but this is just what I do to make tostones. So here we go. Turn the oven on, turn the frying pan, get that hot. We're gonna dump some ghee and fat in there and start to get the plantains brown and crispy. All right, going to toss the ghee in there, and this is by Miller's Bio Farm, the best dairy I have ever had. So once you go Miller's, you'll never go back. Anyways, take a really nice, generous amount of ghee in there because you're gonna be frying some plantains. Vent is going on. Let's circulate our home with me. Come on. We're gonna open up this window, and then we're gonna come over here, and we're gonna open up this window here. Here's my Jasper down here. So in a moment, he is, I like that he's called Jasper, is at 8 right now, and it already actually started even picking up, so because I'm cooking. So I'm gonna open up my windows. Okay, adding even a tad bit more butter there, get that all melty. Okay, plantains are going in. Let's go ahead and fry those up, get them nice and golden brown on all sides. Then we can get ready to smash them. Meanwhile, while you wait a little bit, you can start pitting the dates. Okay, not even like 2 minutes into cooking here, the plantains. So let me just show you what I have from my Jasper air purifier. Here we are. See, this is why you want to purify the air, because otherwise it gets in your lung or your skin or your hair, and it can damage it, especially when you're accumulating it over time. So get a nice air purifier. All right, so these need to be turned just a little bit. Ooh, I had them on a little too long, so they're a little darker than I want them to be. That's okay. We will be more prepared next time. I will turn that down to kind of like a between medium and low, maybe a little bit higher up on the medium. So, okay, I will start pitting my dates now, and you want about 2 cups of dates. Okay, getting them a nice kind of brown color. Again, I overcooked these a little more than I wanted just because I wasn't totally paying attention, but just a nice, you know, golden color like that. And then just kind of keep flipping them so that they get that nice golden color on all sides, and then we can double smash them. Okay, I am cooking the plantains over there, and I just wanted to show you what Jasper looks like here. It is at 500 particles floating around in the air, and that is what it's doing. It is cleaning, it is scrubbing the air. So I absolutely love Jasper, and I will show you why. First and foremost, it is sleek and sexy. It is the best looking air purifier on the market that I've ever seen. It filters it around it, where a lot of air purifiers on the market, such as your Air Doctors and things like that, will only filter in one way. So this has a very 360 range of that. So it's really nice. You could tuck it in the corner so you don't have to leave it out in an open space or an open area. It's also made out of carbon steel, which I absolutely love, because most of them, all of them, are made out of plastic. And that's the exact thing that it's trying to purify your air from too, is also microplastics in the air that get released. If you use my code too as well, you can get a good discount, and then it becomes cheaper per square foot for you as well. And so I will link all of that down there below. But I absolutely love this, and it has sort of changed my sleep, because I put this in the room that I sleep in for those purposes, to just, it optimizes sleep greatly for me, and I feel like I wake up more refreshed than I used to. Keep the air clean, because humans spend 90% of their time indoors, which is not cool. That's my spiel about how much I love this air purifier. Let's get back to the date balls. All right, some of these are done. There's just one more. Needs a little bit of time, but I will start smashing the tostones. I like to also use a little bit of, you know, the fat on a board. Put it here and then put it on the board that I'm smashing in. So that's a hot tip, because it's just easier so it doesn't stick. But again, if you have a bag of plantain chips, literally you can skip this whole entire part. And so that's fun and fast for you, and Maybe you want to do that next time. Maybe you want to cook from scratch next time too, or maybe you want to have that convenient option. They're all at your fingertips. So, okay, now that they are all smashed, now they go back in for a double fry. Here we go, popping them in the pan. I'm gonna put that down to medium low, and these I'm gonna get nice and golden because they're really nice inside the date balls. So, and then you can go ahead and add some ghee more ghee to the pot if you want, if you find that it's burning more than just crisping up. Okay, so then time to flip them. See, they're getting that nice little sort of brown crispy, which is exactly what we want. This kind of came apart, that's okay. It's just gonna be blended up anyway. All right, so pulling off the tostones. We'll still leave some of that melted ghee in there. Then what I'll do is I'll actually just chop the tostones into smaller bits just to give my food processor a little bit of a break, just to make it easier. So I'm just gonna, no fancy way of chopping this up here, but just chop, chop, chop. If you guys got the bag of plantain chips, look it, meet us here. We're right here and just gonna toss some things into the food processor. Here we are, so we'll take our tostones and then probably put about half of them in here right now. And then I will also add my salt. So you'll wanna do about half a teaspoon of salt here. And again, I like my coarse salt for sure. You can also add your cinnamon to your desired amount. I'd probably start with a quarter teaspoon to a half teaspoon. Taste the dough a little bit, because obviously you can taste the dough, and then just, you know, put your desired amount in there. And before I add the dates, I learned this from last time I made these, you can probably put about 2 tablespoons of that, and then I'm just putting it in the pan that we cooked the plantains in. I already melted 2 extra tablespoons in here too as well, and then added it here because we want it a little bit easier to blend together, so we want it more moist. I added a bit, I didn't add the dates yet. I will add those, so let's do this first. But again, as it gets stickier, it's a little bit harder to blend, so let's start here first. Then you can start adding your dates so that doesn't jam up the blender, and that you have enough ghee to solid food ratio for a smoother blend. There we go. Putting more of those dates in there. Whoops, there we are. And then I'm gonna put more of the plantains in. All right, then I just added the dried cranberries here. So mix them all together. It's making like a paste ball. Let's check the consistency here. Okay, cool. Yeah, super pasty and great. We could form our little balls. I'll probably even sprinkle a little bit more on this paste of cinnamon and just work it in there, and that'll be that. And so we have some date balls here. I'll go ahead and plate them. So these turned out a little bit darker than I did for my hunting trip. I think probably because I did about 1.5 cups of dates. We sort of eyeballed it, honestly. So it depends on what you want. If you want, let me scoot up here, a little bit more of a pastier texture, you can get that. Or a chunkier texture, which I actually really enjoyed, so maybe a blender might be a good idea, just as long as you don't mind it being a little bit finicky and adding some either coconut oil or ghee to help the blades and things like that work it in there a little bit better, and then you can pull it out and work with your hands. So I kind of give you a 2-for-1 here, where this recipe is a little bit more pastier and a little bit more date heavy, where the other one was a little bit chunkier and maybe more plantain heavy, and also that had the coconut oil. This has the ghee. Then I'll sprinkle some nice little salt bits, crunchy bits on there, and then some cinnamon, and then I'm gonna pop these in the fridge and then just have them firm up a little bit for, you know, an hour overnight. Typically I like to do it and serve it the next day. Okay, let's see what they look like after a few hours of being in the fridge. Nice. Well, thank you so much for joining me on Cooking with Bae. My name is Lindsay, also known as Animal Based Bae. And so come subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can get notified of next time I either drop a recipe or some insightful reflections from my hunting trip, where you can discover tips and tricks of how you can travel and eat animal-based and stay healthy all on the road, and also just some exciting content too. So stick around, come comment, let me know if you tried these. Maybe you tried a different variation. Please come back, comment. I want to hear all of it because it helps me out in the kitchen too, you know. See you next time.